Veda, Chapter 5, A Timeless Treasure, Part 2. In the previous part, we saw how the Vedas reveal connections with the roots of many modern languages and religious traditions. In this part, we extend that inquiry to other fields such as medicine, mathematics, cosmology, and beyond. Ayurveda is one of the most well known systems of medicine that flourished during the ancient Vedic times. The word Ayurveda comprises of two words, Ayus, life or longevity, and Veda, knowledge, which literally translates to knowledge of life and longevity. Traditionally regarded as an Upaveda, a supplementary branch of knowledge, Ayurveda presents an early form of a pharmacopoeia for treating various ailments. Ayurveda traces its roots to the Atharva Veda, one of the four primary Vedas. According to Ayurveda, everything in the universe, including the human body, is composed of the Pancha Mahabhutas: earth, water, air, fire, and space. Dosha is a central concept here, referring to the three fundamental functional principles that govern the body and mind. These are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, often associated with movement, transformation, and structure, respectively. Each dosha embodies specific qualities and functions, and their balance is influenced by internal metabolism as well as external factors like seasons and daily cycles. Ayurveda explains that the dynamic interplay of these principles determines an individual's health, growth, aging, and susceptibility to disease. Rather than treating symptoms alone, Ayurveda seeks to address the root cause of imbalances to restore harmony, often viewed as a holistic self healing process. The religious texts of the Vedic period provide evidence on the use of large numbers and advanced calculations. In Yajurveda, numbers as high as 10 raised to the 12 were being included in the texts. Solving partial fractions are mentioned in Rig Veda. The Shatapatha Brahmana and Sulba Sutras contain rules for geometric constructions. Sulba Sutras, in fact, mention Pythagorean theorem and Pythagorean triplets in addition to the formulas for computing squares and square roots. Vedas also mention constructing Pascal's triangle, Meru Prasthara, literally the staircase to Mount Meru, binomial coefficients, and even Fibonacci numbers called Matra Meru. It must also be noted that different scales of metrics were used for the measurement of length, mass, temperature, and time. For instance, the smallest unit of time, Truti, is as small as 33,750th fraction of a second, and the largest unit of time is Mahakalpa or Brahma Ayu, lifespan of Lord Brahma, which equals 300 trillion and 40 billion solar years were in practice. Cosmological concepts such as the movement of heavenly bodies and the course of the year have been discussed in the Vedas. Mathematical models to calculate the position of the stars, the day of the year, the phase of the moon with high precision were used to perform the Vedic rituals. Vedas employ a luni-solar calendrical system integrating solar and lunar cycles with intercalation, Adhika Masa, demonstrating a refined understanding of astronomical periodicity. The nakshatra system, dividing the sky into 27 or 28 lunar constellations, served as an early framework for tracking the moon's motion against fixed stars, reflecting systematic observational astronomy. One of the well-known creation concepts in the Vedas appear in the Rig Veda, which speaks of Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb, as the source from which the universe emerges. The Vedas, however, present creation in multiple perspectives across different texts. A particularly insightful account is found in the Taittiriya Upanishad Brahmanandavalli, where the inner self, Atman, gives rise to the creation of space, followed by air, fire, water, earth, plants, and ultimately food and living beings. This sequential description of emergence reflects a structured view of creation that resonates with modern scientific understandings of cosmic and biological evolution. Until a few centuries ago, the rest of the world believed that the world and the universe were only a few thousand years old. In sharp contrast, the Vedas had always stated the universe has no absolute starting point and that it is ever existent and cyclic. Vedas present a cyclic view of time, describing recurring phases of creation, srishti, sustenance, sthiti, and dissolution, pralaya. According to the Vedas, each cycle lasts billions of years. Modern science acknowledged the much older age of the universe through the Big Bang, pulsating, and cyclic theories in the early 20th century. Vedas also mention multiple planes of parallel worlds. According to the Vedas, there are 14 worlds, 6 heavenly worlds, 7 underworlds, and our material earth in between. These worlds exist parallelly but in a different plane of existence. It has been mentioned how time and space relatively varies between these worlds. For instance, the topmost heavenly world, the Brahma Loka, has one day equal 4.32 billion years relative to the earth. A little over a century ago, it was widely believed by science that there are 72 fundamental elements that constitute the universe in various forms. Also, it was believed that these elements were distinctly different from one another. Later advancements in science and technology led to the discovery of atoms and subatomic particles. According to the present day modern science and quantum mechanics, even these subatomic particles are just different states of energy, and that energy is what pervades the entire universe. In other words, the matter is fundamentally not different from energy. Quantum physics concludes that the entire universe is just energy in different forms. The Vedas declare the same, stating that the material world we see as distinct objects is in fact not distinct, but the all-pervading Brahman. It is due to the Maya Shakti, illusory energy, which coexists with the Brahman, causes the world to appear real and distinct. There is currently no consensus regarding the definition of life as per modern science. In many parts of the Vedas, it has been implied that life is everywhere and is interconnected. For instance, Taittiriya Upanishad asserts that everything and everyone are connected and deeply interrelated to everything and everyone else. It goes on explaining this by stating that everything is metaphorically just food of energy, of material, and of knowledge. The Vedas aim to foster harmony in both individual and societal life through foundational ethical principles such as the yamas described in the Shandilya Upanishad. Complementing this is the concept of Rita, which was briefly mentioned in the previous part from the Rig Veda. Rita denotes the universal cosmic order that governs both nature and human conduct, where alignment leads to harmony and deviation to disorder. The Shanti mantras in the Upanishads and the revered Gayatri mantra, which invokes peace and collective enlightenment respectively, underscore the ideal of harmony not just within the individual but across all existence. The epitome of the Vedas is the philosophy of the self, that is, simply answering the question, who am I? This is explored in depth and in detail by the principal Upanishads. The reasoning employed in discussing the philosophies is unparalleled even to this day. Ultimately, they all conclude that the self is the only reality. The Vedas, when examined beyond their surface, reveal a profound blend of philosophical depth, observational insight, and intellectual rigor. The Vedas do not seek to teach science in the modern sense. Rather, they inspire critical inquiry, thoughtful reflection, and a deeper empirical analysis. In this light, the Vedas remain not relics of the past, but enduring sources of wisdom with relevance even today.